for the Rebels. Frank Summers in motion, will stay to block. This ball looked to be first handoff of the game to Frank Summers in the tank. Injured in that Michigan victory. So it is a fresh set of downs for the sophomore Clayton. Gets that ball.
Corners and McCain and Smith.
Second down and long, and second carry of the day for Summers. He gets the edge and gets another first down.
For UNLV.
Greg Newman looked to come across early. No flags as he got back. Those guys, he sent a big text to Kyle Whittingham after the upset in Gainesville, Florida, congratulating him on a big win. So Frank the Tank, third carry of the day, same result across midfield, lowers his shoulder and takes a... Channing Trotter now in the ball game at running back. The handoff goes to the speedster, Michael Johnson. Look at Johnson go. Johnson was stopped for a
sideline.
Flare, bottom of your screen, the senior from Alaska in motion. And the flare pass to Channing Trotter. Here goes Trotter, makes a guy miss across the 15, across the 5. Down at the Casey Flare, he will be the lone receiver that stays in. That's him in motion. Handoff to Summers. And a sea of red. The option this time in the pitch to Summers. Summers hit hard. A great job coming up by Vegas. It is a loss of 1, so third down and 2. Inside give to Summers. And that pile doesn't stand. Frank Summers. Mike Sanford was quoted as well that
he's done here so far today.
Thanks, Sammy. Deep to receive this one. David Reed, the fastest Ute on the squad. He'll be right behind that wedge. There is a flag down. And a good-looking return as Reed, if it stands. And it will not. Performance up in Michigan. First play of the game for the Utes goes a handoff to Elijah Wesson, and a good-looking play. And most of the good stuff came in the first half. Play action pass to Darrell Mack. Intended for a small dose of that in Ann Arbor last weekend. Expect to get a lot of it today. Lead blocker is Mack. Handoff goes to Asiata. Start, but hopes to play tonight. Third down and short. And this ball is incomplete as Johnson waits deep. 47 yards was the average last week. A fair easier for Rocky Long's squad. They've got Arizona next week and then a trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma in Mountain West Conference. Normal Community High School right there by Bloomington, Illinois State. He connects here on that opening drive. They'll spread it out. The quarterback draws, snuffed right out. Wide receiver is deep for this Lamers punt. A low kick. Peel takes it off of his shoulder pads. Lucky to get it back against Brian Johnson's Utes. Johnson will keep this one. Dances a little bit. Who flanks Brian Johnson right now will stay in the block. Pass complete to Brent Castile. Castile with the first. He'll join Mack in the backfield. And the option here back to Castile, other side of the field, across midfield. Good pickup by the back, but it's picked off.
Watch Forte. He sees Godfrey on the dig and beats him to the spot and is able to hang on to the ball. That's actually...
They'll start with 5 wides, motioning back into the backfield is the speedster Michael Johnson. Kruger gets him down. Big stop.
Defensive end, a former quarterback in high school.
This ball is complete to 3rd and 6. Plenty of time for Clayton. The long throw across the field. His own 21. And another ugly kick by Lamers. It barely crosses midfield. Just an 8-yard punt. Handoff to Elijah Wesson. For the Ute offense, 2 backs as Johnson takes it from the shotgun. But a lousy second half for this offense in Brian Johnson. 3rd and 10 all the time that he needs. Good. So here's Sakota. You mentioned it earlier. So good at pinning opponents.
Old guy. They made him reward after him.
You actually had to take care of Lou Grose's kicking cue, didn't you? Field next to Omar Clayton. Inside handoff to Channing Trotter. 3rd down and 4. Clayton, another long pass. And to end the first quarter, Clayton to Wolf, a fresh set of downs and a fresh Frank. They're on first down, so a second down and 6. Again to the tank. Lowers that hat, and this Muss with another jump. And
on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
4-man rush on 3rd and 8. Clayton is popped. Lamers, this one isn't pretty, but effective as it goes over the head of John Peel. He'll let it roll. Combined for 17 catches last week. Here's Asiata. Hanging on in the second half. Utah victorious to spoil Rich Rodriguez. 14-yard line. Johnson gets that one off. There is a flag.
On the offense, number 7.
What's left there you can see.
So instead of a first down, 3rd and 14. Underneath to Castillo.
Nice tackle.
Nice deep in his own end zone. Will punt it away to Michael Johnson. A kick about as high as the wall.
Standing for anybody.
And he did it kicking the field goals last week. 4 for 4. To the air goes Clayton. Great job last weekend. Gets better every single day, they say. Clayton sets up, batted right down by Kruger. At this point, 10 yards to go. This ball batted and incomplete. Dak has been a backup quarterback.
It wasn't bad.
Years for the Rebels, and he does get a good punt off. Returnable, and here comes Peel. Peel is popped, but it will be backs with Brian Johnson or Mack and Asiata. Back to pass is Johnson. Nice hands, Asiata. He'll turn it up in a first down. And before breaking his leg, here comes a corner blitz. Good job of getting it off by Johnson. And Jacob Hales, the defensive end with a dislocated elbow, has found his way into the ball game.
Taumua.
So a 3rd and 12 for Johnson. He'll avoid one tackle. Not many people with a white jersey here. A lot of room for Johnson across the 20. Picks up a block. Brian Johnson into the end zone. And the Muss and company starting to make some noise here in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Enough to make...
Full start on the offense, number 59.
The heat is on as Clayton backtracks back into his own end zone. Lets this one go. And Rice-Eccles getting a little bit noisy for Clayton and company. There's the pressure. He lets it go. What a nice catch in traffic. It's needed to keep this drive alive as we go under 7:30 in this first half. Look at big Frank Summers lowering his...
Becomes infectious.
And right back to center.
Can be the defense's best friend.
There's Clayton, another good-looking pass across midfield. Here's Philip Payne, the freshman, a true freshman. Anthony, Casey Flair, and Ryan Wolf. Michael Johnson and Philip Payne are true freshmen. Frank Summers gets turned. He's popped out of bounds.
The feet out from underneath right there. You can see that's Sean Smith who goes down and then enables to get to the outside. This is kind of funny because he's already headed now.
Right, needs to be smarter than that. Lucky a flag didn't get thrown. Here goes Summers again. Carrying a few. Ball is at the 7. And a goal to go. 3 plays in a row. Big Frank Summers lowers the boom and down. 5 carries this drive for Summers. Make it 6. And make it touchdown number 2. Ishii puts this switching at the tight end spot. As the handoff goes inside to Darrell Mack. What a great year he...
You have to figure that he was going to do better than that. That was his first carry of the game. But one thing I wanted to...
We're not going to redshirt you anymore. Another 3rd down here for Johnson. This one goes to Darrell Mack, and he can't break the
runner. He pulls him down. Now I wonder if in that situation if that's a horse collar. You can see the official wagging his head a little bit.
In a big way on the bad end for the Washington Huskies. As Jake Locker just tossed the ball over his shoulder. Out, playing on the road in Michigan. Here's a 2nd down. And the toss goes to Mack. Did he put it down on the ground?
Is it early? Now watch. Is the ball? See, his knee's already down right there. Now when does the ball come out? From that angle, we couldn't quite.
Plenty of time for Johnson. Sends that one to his receiver, Braden.
What happened? Utah able to convert on third down.
Oh, and this has got to be a flag. It is a second.
Had the big tackle over there.
Wesson in motion. Matt Asiata with the ball up across. Trying to set up the wide receivers. In 2 of 5, the Utes on third down conversions. Again, plenty of time. And again, they complete a big pickup. Under a minute to play. And the ball
is able to deliver the ball on the money.
And an 80-yard drive there for the Utah Utes. And look at this. Johnson's going to bring it out of his own end zone, stuck as he nears the 20-yard. Some late bodies coming into the game for Utah. They get a second down and 6. Oh, Summers is popped. This time it's Steven. They do just that. Ball knocked down. He actually called for that personal foul, and Ishii does get off a nice kick. Peel will call for a fair catch right on his own side.
On the receiving team, that's a post-scrimmage kick.
Yards. So here we go with 1 timeout remaining. It's Johnson in the Utes. And this ball almost picked off, should have been. And still a timeout for Utah. A little bit of time for Johnson. He's hit as he throws, and this time Quentin Pointer. And they are. And Louis booms one that will die, of course, right inside the 10-yard line, down inside.
With Asiata and with Darrell Mack.
And the second half underway. It's Reed and Wesson to receive, and it's Reed. The speedy David Reed is tripped up. Had one guy to
return by Reed.
And to the ground. Here's a handoff to the young joining Johnson in the backfield. Is the ball carrier. 3 for Johnson in the Utes. Quick throw, quick completion. The quarterback, Brian Johnson. Hand off to Asiata, dropped after a 2 fence. And a second down and 7 play for Johnson to the air. Caught into the end zone. Freddie Brent. Godfrey with the second half. So once again, out of the end zone comes Michael Johnson. Johnson with bodies flying all
around for downtown Freddie Brown.
So here goes Omar Clayton in the Rebels' first series. And off to Summers. Good job stretching it out by that defensive. Clayton will dump this one off. Flamers in the first half. A lot of Utes coming through there, but he gets it off. And here goes Peel. John Peel, nice looking return, popped out of bounds. 25-yard return by Peel. The Utes are knocking again. Here's Darrell Mack for about 4. Up at Michigan, fumbled away the ball to give it back to the Wolverines. So Peel doing a great job of stepping in and taking his place. First reception of the night in the third quarter. Here's the reverse to Reed. Reed, nothing but a red wall right in front of him. Skips into the end zone.
And as was explained to me, James, a long time ago.
You said it. Well, if little brother can run like big brother, Urban Meyer might be all right. They've already got enough speed down there in Florida. For both teams 1-0. It was a victory over Utah State for these Rebels last year, and a lot of hometown Rebels, and playing with some passion tonight. Third down for the Rebels here, and this ball is dropped. Ishii gets this punt away to Peel, who this time will. Here's Matt Asiata puts the ball on the turf. Do they get it back?
I don't know if it's right there. He trips over the new left tackle, and as a result, he hits his elbow. Chance at it. It was just a little bit slow. Good, give credit to Sands for hustling back.
So quickly back in is Brian Johnson. He connects with on third down conversions for Johnson in Utah in the empty set. Quickly fires, and again, late last year for Kyle Whittingham. Good to see him healthy as well. Plenty of time for Johnson, and wide open down the middle of the field is Brett Castile, but he against Air Force that Castile tore his ACL, and as you mentioned earlier, back to full speed, and then the Rebels pull out a stop here. They come with the blitz, and Johnson gets it off. This will be a first down and a few more yards. Great job. Here's the handoff this time to Mack. Nice hole for him, and another first down. This one. And Asiata again lined up at quarterback. The shotgun snap to him, a short gain. Thank you. Nice crowd here in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Colt Sampson, does he get in? He does. Touchdown.
Their average starting position has been the 46-yard line of UNLV.
There's Summers. Will leave the backfield and leave Clayton all alone. Fires this one a little bit behind. Ryan Wolf goes back.
Utah, who has arguably the best secondary in the conference.
Here's a three-man rush, and going up in traffic near Casey Flair.
On the offense, number 66.
Sort of big play. Here comes the blitz. The heat is on. Ball is out. Koamisi, the other defensive end,
is awfully fast. Clayton sees him, but it's just a little bit too late, and he's
in 19 situation. Rolling and airing it out deep into the. Awaits back at his own 40. Will have to backtrack a good 15 yards. Bobbles it, and here he goes. There is a flag down as Peel goes diving across.
Block in the back, number 36 on the receiving team.
In Norman, Oklahoma. As we go under a minute here in the third quarter, going to win a Heisman. So you know there's a little bit of wanting to be the guy and the gossip there mixed in, and so maybe feeding that a little bit. Ringtone?
It is.
So here we go on the ground and continue. This time Asiata will take the snap and hand off to Elijah Wesson. So out Sean Smith and Bryce McCain, and they'll talk to you for about an hour. That was Jeremy Brooks in motion, and look at Asiata. He throws it up there too. The running back getting involved with the arm, and Jeremy.
He does the step up like he's going to run the ball, and of course the secondary has to step up. Look at the throw on the move and on the money.
Using the leg against together, and Vroman kicks it off. This one will be returnable by Michael Johnson, who has to go way up for it. And Johnson is popped as he crosses. Don't hate to see the Blue lose, do you?
Oh, I love it. It was great. It was great. I was just proud of our team, and it was a great game. And that's the top of the league, and just excited about my players improving and growing. And we've got a great basketball city and great support of what this year is going to take as this group coming together.
Third down and 6 here for the Rebels. Clayton under all kinds of pressure, and the senior Casey Flair has been quiet tonight.
Playing under the lights and, you know, having 22 guys trying to win a game together.
Clayton, this one incomplete. It's Boylan, head coach of the Utah Ute basketball team, joins us here in the booth watching Kyle Whittingham's
here this winter.
It certainly is. Here's the 3rd and 3 that they skateboard, the big 7-footer, like the skateboard around campus. He's not doing it anymore, is he?
I took his.
So Jim Boylan, we're going to let you go here after this 3rd and 8. There's Clayton, and how about Bryce McCain? He had the right arm on Ryan Wolves.
On the defense, number 1, 15.
We saw him on the sideline behind his defensive coordinator. There's Clayton back to the air, and back under 11 minutes to play. Here comes the rush on Clayton and Smith. I guess Rebels now just 4 of 12 on 3rd down, and
ball start on the offense, number 66.
I was going for a run yesterday and finish it up here after this third down play. This one goes to Ryan Wolf as he's forced 5 as Clayton will stay in with 5 wides. And the first catch of the day for the... But thank you, Sammy. Here's a 1st and 10 on a quarterback keep. Your captain on this Utah team. Greg Newman heats it up. And is both Plant and Worthen, the tight ends in the ball game, and the handoff to Frank Summers. Dives forward. Summers now stacked behind Wolf. And here comes Clayton. Will pick up a block from Summers. And
Many of them.
Here comes the blitz on Clayton. He's popped, and how about the play?
Push in the back or a hold. That's what it is. Here it is right here. He has his hand on his back a little.
There you go, Frank Summers. Get some of this. And Sylvester looked to be a little close tonight.
Evan Marshall jumps off sides, and now that
73 yards worth. Here's Clayton. Nowhere to intense, even with a 42-14 lead. They're at the break, a 3rd down, and a nice grab. There's 14 in the first half, and here's the first 7 of the second.
Starts looking around saying, hey, where's Jekyll? Gets his cell phone number, calls him out of the stand.
leather helmets too.
There's Colt Sampson, who scored a touchdown tonight.
And he wisely comes back in bounds. That's a smart football player.
These Utah Utes as Colt Sampson remains in. Down here at the bottom is Freddie Brown, and here's the big tailback to
just can't. So that's why, as I say, I'm surprised here.
Matchup. Another handoff to Darrell Mack. They continue to feed the Mack. Darrell Mack was the first out the limo.
Now, speaking of riding the ship in the second half, I can't help but think that Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator, now is going to pull him aside. That
big win led the Utes to a big win over UCLA the week before started that game. And here's Asiata. A flag down, probably a hold that's going to bring this one back, and a shame because a nice looking run.
Very pleased.
Number 89, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
It's when they don't play at their best. And it would seem to me when you look at this Ute team, James, that that's the case. In that first half, Johnson's
supposed to get him back and get him healthy. Kanape Iliapo, get him back on that defensive line, get Laux back, and to keep the